Over the years, we have seen some incredibly bad contracts in the NHL. As you can see, free agency is normally the main reason on why this all goes down. And on the screen, you got Louis Eriksson, one of the most notorious terrible free agency signings when he signed 6x6 for the Vancouver Canucks, $6 million for 6 years. But throughout the NHL, there are tons, and I mean tons, of bad contracts. And just look at this goal by Louis Eriksson. What an absolute beauty. But let's go into the most overpaid NHL players in the 2022-2023 season. For this video, I'm going to keep it to some of the higher caliber players in the NHL that you probably didn't know were making this much money, which was a shocker for me, really. The first name on the list has to be none other than Matt Murray. And it's not because of his play necessarily. It's more because of the injuries. Matt Murray cannot stay healthy for the life of him. And it's just a contract that you need this guy to be your number one goalie. You can't have him injured 50 games a year. But currently, Matt Murray is signed for the next 2 years. So this year, including one more year, at a $6.25 million cap hit. To add on to this contract, he also has a no trade team clause, which makes it almost impossible to trade him unless he approves of the trade. Matt Murray really broke out into the NHL on the Pittsburgh Penguins, where he won 2 Stanley Cups, and Ottawa thought they were finally getting that goaltender of the future when trading for Matt Murray. But since coming over to the Ottawa Senators, Matt Murray actually only played 47 games in 2 years, giving up an average about 3.25 goals for per game and a save percentage of just around .895. So not the greatest numbers for a goalie that was super promising for the Ottawa Senators, really. The Sens fans were really excited. I'm a Sens fan. I was excited. I'm like, let's get it done. But eventually, he does get traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs, where he's been okay, but once again, dealing with injury problems. This year, 19 games played, 2.73 goals against average, and a save percentage of .911. If he can just stay healthy, playing on a team like the Toronto Maple Leafs, he can definitely cause some damage, and maybe, just maybe, even have them go past the first round, as we were watching a little bit of a beautiful save there from Matt Murray on the Ottawa Senators. Goalie is just one of the most important positions in hockey, and you can't afford to be playing goalie is just one of the most important positions in hockey, and you just cannot afford to be paying someone $6.25 million when they do not play any games for you. But Matt Murray is our first victim of the overpaid players / goalies in the NHL this year. Milan Lucic, the beast, the guy with the craziest hunchback in the NHL, in 2016-2017 was signed to an absolutely absurd contract where he signed for 7 years with an average annual value of $6 million. Thankfully for the Calgary Flames, this is his last year on the contract. But if you're paying someone $6 million, there is so many options in the NHL to get those top goal scorers, top players. I mean, there's a handful of players that you can grab over Milan Lucic. He does bring something to the game that most players can't bring, but for $6 million, definitely not worth it. On the Boston Bruins, Milan Lucic was a terrifying sight. He can throw the body, he can fight, and he can score goals. He had 62 points, 60 points, 59, 44, 55 for the Boston Bruins. But when he got signed to those Edmonton Oilers, that's when his career took a huge plummet. In 82 games for the first year of his contract, he had 50 points, which was very respectable. But the year following, 34, then 20 points. 20 points once again. He was eventually dealt to the Calgary Flames, where in 3 seasons, he's been able to put up 60 points combined. Lucic has that crazy contract. It does expire this year, but he is definitely one of the most overpaid players in the entire NHL. Marc-Edouard Vlasic, the defenseman for the San Jose Sharks. And you might be thinking, wow, there's a defenseman for the San Jose Sharks. Why isn't it Erik Karlsson? And up to this year, I would have 100% put Erik Karlsson on this list. Even, you can make a case for Erik Karlsson still being overpaid. I mean, he's making $11.5 million. But this year, he has the most 5-on-5 points in the entire NHL. He has 74 points. He's the favorite for the Norris Trophy. He is overpaid, I will say it. Erik Karlsson still is overpaid, but he is having an incredible season where he might be overpaid by a couple $1,000,000, but he is still electric for these San Jose Sharks. And he's eventually going to get traded for a very, very good return. So I'm going to keep Erik Karlsson off the list here, but I do believe that he is overpaid and you could have him on this list. But Marc-Edouard Vlasic signed an 8-year deal, $56 million with the San Jose Sharks on July 1st, 2017. And in that time, he's been okay. He's been serviceable, but by no means has he been worth $7 million. 35-year-old defenseman is currently in his 5th year out of the 8-year deal. He still has 3 more years after this year and has a modified no trade clause. So even if they did want to trade him, it would be quite the challenge. In the 5 years since signing the contract with the Sharks, Vlasic has not seen a year where he has had a positive plus minus. He's been a negative rating every year, -6, -10, -8, -22, and -10 once again. Obviously, the San Jose Sharks have not been too strong as of late, but still, from one of your top paid defenseman, you expect a lot more work. This year, he has 15 points in 57 games, so not the worst stats ever, but at the -10, you need a little bit more out of Vlasic. He's a player that kind of flies under the radar on the San Jose Sharks with such a good roster. Logan Couture, Erik Karlsson, they used to have Brent Burns back there to help out. I mean, the good old days with Jumbo Joe Thornton, as you just saw in the clip there. But Marc-Edouard Vlasic for $7 million. This is a player that you probably want to sign for around $4 to $5 million. Definitely overpaid, and I like Vlasic. Good for him for cashing the bag. But he is going to be the last defenseman on this list. The captain of the Dallas Stars, Jamie Benn. Jamie Benn signed a crazy contract in 2016, signing an 8-year deal worth $76 million, which, do the math on it, $9.5 million a year. And I personally, I was a huge fan of Jamie Benn. My favorite player, Jason Spezza, just got traded to Dallas, so I started watching a lot more Dallas games. I had Jamie Benn on my fantasy team. He was lighting it up for the Dallas Stars, and then out of nowhere, he just kind of fell off of a cliff. Jamie Benn is currently on his 6th year of the 8-year deal. So 2 more years after this at the $9.5 million cap hit. And doesn't look like he's going to be traded. That's a big cap hit. And if he does get traded, there will be retained salary in this deal. To be fair with the Dallas Stars, when they signed this contract, it didn't seem so bad. The 2 years prior, he actually had 87 points in 82 games and 89 points in 82 games, which is really good. 40 goal scorer, and he's playing all 82 games, which is what you would love to see with your team. Jamie Benn had 2 more good seasons after that. Then he really started to fall off in 2019-2020, only putting up 39 points, and the following year, 35 points. Last year, 46. This year, Jamie Benn has actually had a little bit of a resurgence. 47 points in 57 games. So he's getting back to where he needs to be. But at $9.5 million, is it really worth it? I think he's a great player, great captain, but a little bit overpaid on my books here. But he's not going to be the only Dallas Star on this list. Enter his teammate, Tyler Seguin. Tyler Seguin is making $9.85 million a year. On September 13th, 2018, Tyler Seguin and the Dallas Stars announced a massive contract extension where he signed an 8-year deal at $78.8 million, which transfers to $9.85 million AAV. When this contract was signed, this was at the height of Seguin's career. He was averaging almost a point per game every single year, coming off a 40-goal season, 80 points back-to-back. It just seemed like Tyler Seguin was ready to take it to the next level and continue to dominate the NHL. But that's not what happened. Tyler Seguin actually ran into a couple injury problems where he only played 69 games in 2019-2020, and then the following year only playing 3 games. Since coming back from his injuries, Tyler Seguin hasn't been the same player that he once upon a time was, averaging over a point per game and scoring 40 goals. He's still been a dynamic player, but there's just a step that's been lost, and you can tell in his game. I still think he's a phenomenal player. Just if you're going to pay someone almost $10 million, it's the theme of it. You need to be on the ice, and you need to be producing at all points of the game. Coming into this year, Seguin, he's been better. 35 points in 57 games, but obviously there's players all in the NHL. Scoring is up. Someone who's sitting A player who's sitting at half a point per game or just over half a point per game isn't going to cut it for $10 million. You need someone who's probably at 1.3 points per game at that rate, especially with the Tage Thompsons of the world, the Tim Stutzels of the world, the Mitch Marners of the world. All these players that are making roughly around the same are outscoring him severely. And we save the best for last. Insert Mr. Jeff Skinner. In June of 2019, Jeff Skinner signed an 8-year, $72 million deal, which is an AAV of $9 million. The crazy part of this contract is he is only 4 years into that $8 million deal, which means after this year, he still has a solid 4 years left at $9 million a year, with Buffalo becoming such a good team and so many prospects waiting to get paid. I don't imagine that this contract's going to be on the books for much longer. They're going to have to do something to get rid of it, or to, get some retained salary, something. To be fair to the Buffalo Sabres, they did sign Jeff Skinner 1 year after he scored his first ever 40-goal season. But in that year, he still only had 63 points in 82 games. So they were just hoping they can lock Jeff Skinner up long-term and then have him become a superstar. And, for $10 million, still have value. Ever since that year, though, it has not been pretty for Jeff Skinner. The next couple of years, he put up 23 points and 14 points, and once again ran into tons of injury problems. Last year had a little bit of a bounce back year where he had 63 points in 80 games, but for $10 million, once again, not going to cut it. This year, he is actually having a career resurgence year, which is good for the Buffalo Sabres because they really need Jeff Skinner to be on his best, especially playing with players like Tage Thompson, who are so damn good. Tage Thompson, top 5 player in the NHL right now. I'm sorry if you're not a Buffalo fan, if you don't watch Tage Thompson. The guy's an absolute beauty. But back to Jeff Skinner. 54 points in 52 games. He's really starting to turn it around, and the Buffalo Sabres drastically need this. You cannot play someone $10 million to sit on your third line and be a scrub. But that is going to do it for the most overpaid players in the NHL this year. There's been some lucrative contracts on many different teams, but I figured let's keep it high level here. If you want to see a part 2, there's always more bad contracts. Or if you want to see some of the best contracts in the NHL, we can do that video next. Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya! Cheers!